today I'd like you to think about the idea of silence in your practice and silence in music. And there's a tendency to think of silence as just this space where we are waiting for the next thing to play, but silence is as much music and as much a part of the music as the notes that we play. If there was no silence, we would have no definition between the notes, and we would have no contrast. We would have no space for those notes to sit and resonate. So silence is just as important, and silence can have many qualities in music. So the kind of silence I'd like you to think about is the silence between phrases, the silence between sections of music, the silence at the beginning of a piece. How does the silence feel at the beginning of a piece? And then how does the silence feel at the end of the piece? How does the piece continue to resonate in the silence at the end? You can also think about the silence between the notes. So if you play something that is, the notes are joined together kind of like toffee, everything is stretched gooey, how does that feel versus the notes being separated by silence? How much silence? How short are the notes? How short is the staccato, for example? How short is the marcato? Is there still space between the notes? How extreme can you go with the silence before it's clipped? And then how extreme in the other direction where it kind of stretches and goos like toffee? And then the other thing to consider in silence is, what does your mind do in the silence? Is silence maybe an invitation for your mind to wander outside of the practice room for a moment? Or maybe to wander forward, to think about what has to be done next, what is the next exercise you're going to work on, what's the next piece you're working on. Maybe your mind jumps forward to lunchtime, jumps forward to the emails you have to write this afternoon in the silence. And so the silence can then become a way of bringing our mind back into the present moment. So every time there is a moment of silence, it's like in meditation where you bring your attention back to the breath. So this moment of silence is an invitation to bring your awareness to the silence. What is the quality of the silence? And in turn, back to the present moment of the music. So that's my idea for you today, is just to consider silence, whatever that means in your practice session through your exercises and pieces today. Hi, I'm Erica. I am a musician and music teacher, and I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe for more practice tips, motivation and inspiration. And also share this video with any friends who are also practicing music. And finally, if you like, you can stick around for a short meditation at the end of this video to prepare you for a great day's practice. So happy practicing, and I'll see you next time. Bye. So let's just take some time to prepare the body and the mind for practice. Take out your instrument, books, music, whatever you need for your practice today, and then spend a few moments making the space comfortable. And when you're ready, coming to a place of stillness, you can stand or sit with your instrument. And then with the next exhale, gently closing the eyes. Bring your awareness to your breath. Notice where in the body you feel that breath moving. The nose, the throat, chest, diaphragm. Where you feel the rise of each inhale and the fall of each exhale. And now you can begin to count each breath. 1 with the inhale, 2 with the exhale, 3 inhale, 4 exhale. Just up to a count of 10, then returning back to 1 again. And if any thoughts appear in the mind, simply noting, thinking, or any feelings, noting, feeling, and bringing the attention back to the breath. If you find you're distracted, simply returning to the count of 1, back to 10, and then repeat back at 1. So now slowly bringing your awareness back to the body, feeling the weight of your body in the chair, or the feeling of the feet connected to the floor. Maybe the feeling of your instrument under your fingers, its texture. And then, when you're ready, you can blink the eyes open, and I wish you a wonderful day's practice.